Attorney General William P. Barr has assigned the top federal prosecutor in Connecticut to examine the origins of the Russia investigation, according to two people familiar with the matter. A move that President Trump has long called for, but that could anger law enforcement officials who insist that the scrutiny of the Trump campaign was lawful. This is the best part right here. John H. Durham, the United States Attorney in Connecticut, has a long history of serving as a special prosecutor investigating potential wrongdoing among national security officials, including the FBI's ties to a crime boss in Boston and accusations of CIA abuses of detainees. Mr. Durham was behind the investigation of FBI corruption related to the Whitey Bulger crime gang. If you guys know who Whitey Bulger is, you will recall that he was one of the most infamous crime bosses in Boston, and he also had a man named John Connolly as an FBI agent, a dirty cop on his side. Apparently, and I just learned this today, learned this just 15 minutes ago, Mr. Durham was the man, the U.S. attorney at the time, who was responsible for putting John Connolly away. He was actually appointed as a special prosecutor by Janet Reno, of all people, in 1999. In December 2000, he revealed secret FBI documents that convinced a judge to vacate the 1968 murder convictions of 4 different people. 1968, that's a 32-year-old murder conviction that Durham got overturned because they had been framed by the FBI. The documents helped them win a $100 million judgment against the government. Seems pretty justified. And in 2002, he helped secure the conviction of retired FBI agent John Connolly, who was sentenced to 10 years in prison on racketeering charges. Now you may think, is this guy a lib? Is this guy a lib? Does this look like a lib to you? That doesn't look like a lib to me. Do you see that jawline? Do you think that's a lib? I don't think that's a lib. I don't see it. This guy does not look like a lib to me. Who's that? You're getting blocked. That is a serious goatee. That is very robust. Does that look like a lib to you? That looks like the guy who's about to end your career. That looks like the guy who doesn't care. That looks like the guy who's about to just put you in jail and not even think twice about it. Like, he's not even smiling. This is like an Israeli prime ministerial photo. Like, you'll notice the difference between American photos of leaders and Israeli photos. It's actually a weird thing. American leaders are always smiling. Israeli leaders are never smiling. They never smile. It's like shit's too serious in Israel, so they don't ever smile. That's what this dude looks like. He does not look like he's a joker. Bill Barr is not playing. If I am Peter Strzok right now, if I were Andrew McCabe, if I were James Comey, I would not be having a good day. This is not what I wanted to hear. I don't want to hear about the guy who put an FBI agent in jail for helping Whitey Bulger, for framing people. I don't want to hear that that's the guy who's looking into my behavior in the Trump campaign. It's not what I want to hear. It's not what I want to hear. That do you think this dude's calm? He's done this before. He's done it, this specific thing before, uncovering FBI corruption. He's done it before, and he's successfully got people out of jail and put the dirty FBI agent into jail. So I don't think it's a good day for Andrew McCabe. I don't think it's a good day for Peter Strzok. I don't think it's a good day for James Comey. I think this is a serious escalation on Barr's part. I think the predictions that Barr was actually going to take a serious look at the origins of the Russia investigation turned out to be true, and I think this is something to be enthusiastic about. I think this is no joke. Somebody says Barr he was totally unafraid and acted normally when he laid out spying. That's right. And as much as Chris Wray might be like, oh, I don't think spying is the right word, and James Comey be like, how dare you call it spying? This guy is a guy who, what else did he look at? He looked at extraordinary rendition. He's looked at a lot of things, and this is an indication that Bill Barr takes this very seriously, and it's an indication that, guess what, the Department of Justice is now taking this seriously. Also to explain, so Durham is currently the U.S. Attorney for the District of Connecticut. That means he is the senior federal law enforcement officer in the state of Connecticut. That's in the Second Circuit. So he's taking time off from doing that to also focus on running this particular investigation. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Very, very happy. Somebody says the conclusion could be FBI did nothing illegal but were reckless with protocol. That's true, right? I mean, to be fair, like there was an investigation he did and he didn't come back with a report. We can actually look at the Wikipedia. I just read through it. In 2008, John Durham was appointed by then Attorney General Michael Mukasey to investigate the destruction of CIA videotapes of detainee interrogations. On November 8, 2010, Durham closed the investigation without recommending any criminal charges be filed. So it's not like unthinkable that he won't charge people. That's not unthinkable, but I don't think he's playing. I don't think he's playing. He's appointed by President Trump to be the U.S. Attorney for the District of Connecticut. That was in 2017. This is not some Obama holdover. I don't know that much about the IG, but I know the IG can't subpoena people, and since McCabe and others are no longer with the department. So he says, trust Ray. Yeah, trust the plan, guys. Trust Sessions. The plan of Sessions was to get fired and let Barr actually do what needed to be done. That was the plan, obviously. What about a lib grand jury? That it doesn't mean that any trials will happen in Connecticut. He's being tapped by DOJ for a DOJ-specific matter. Any trials will happen here. It's like, it's not a special counsel because he's not a separate office and he's not independent of the Department of Justice. He's working within the Department of Justice under the normal chain of command where he just reports to Bill Barr as per usual. But he has all the powers that he would have as the U.S. attorney of a major state, which is a lot of power, like real prosecutorial power, subpoena power, real investigative power. This isn't an inspector general who only has the authority to subpoena documents. This is a U.S. attorney with the authority to subpoena people to come in and testify before a grand jury if he wants to. So that's what's up with that. Renee says, asked a good question. Has he been appointed special prosecutor? No. Is this comparable to a special counsel? Not really. But you understand that most investigations, 99.9% of investigations of criminal wrongdoing by the Department of Justice do not require a special counsel. The only circumstance under which a special counsel is normally required is if there's a conflict of interest. That's what you're looking for. So, why did there need to be one for the Trump administration? Well, because, there was just so much, all the people had been appointed by Trump. So the idea being that you need a new outsider who's completely untainted by the campaign in order to run an investigation of the Trump campaign itself. There's not really a need for a special counsel in this case. The individuals who are potential targets or have been fired are no longer employed by the Department of Justice. There's no reason that you need a special counsel in order to investigate what's going on here. Brad Brewer says the Dems will struggle to speak out against him, or at least in theory. Indeed, they will. They will have a lot of problems. Unless they want to try and argue that this man who has a sterling reputation and is responsible for unearthing corruption in the FBI and the highest levels of the FBI is somehow a bad person or irresponsible or not appropriate for whatever reason. Maybe they'll try and protect Andrew McCabe and James Comey from the storm that is about to rain on them. Big news, big news, big news. John Durham, the man who investigated the FBI agents who were working with Whitey Bulger, the man who put John Connolly, the corrupt FBI agent, in jail. John Durham, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Connecticut, has been tapped by Bill Barr to investigate the origins of the Russia investigation. That is the news of the day. It is good news. It is a sign that the Barr is taking this seriously, that the matter has escalated. It's gone beyond merely Huber, indeed. Yeah, it's a little better than Huber. It's gone beyond merely Barr trying to assemble the materials from the various investigations that have taken place into the origins of the Russia probe. It's more than that. This is like, again, Mr. Durham is an experienced federal prosecutor with experience investigating crimes at the highest level of the FBI. He will have the full authority of the Department of Justice behind him, including the ability to subpoena witnesses, which is something that the Inspector General, Michael Horowitz, does not have. And it will be, it's big news. It's very big news. Somebody says, so when will the media officially start trashing Durham? Good question. Maybe tomorrow. It'll be hard to, though. He's got a long-standing reputation. He's been appointed by both Democrat and Republican presidents to do investigations of this sort. Again, he was appointed by Janet Reno in 1999 to invest as a special prosecutor to investigate corruption related to Whitey Bulger's gang in Boston. And then in 2008, he was tapped by Michael Mukasey, the Republican Attorney General, to investigate potential deletion of CIA videotapes.